Entitled and cruel narcissists will go crazy if you do these 8 things. Are you bound in a narcissist's world? How can I make them taste their own medicine or completely destroy them, you may ask. This video reveals 8 destructive techniques for driving a narcissist over the brink. These are the unanticipated counterattacks that the arrogant narcissist can't withstand. But before we dive into the madness, if this is your first time here, we welcome you. I encourage you to hit the subscribe button and notification bell so you won't miss our future videos. First of all, here is a caution. If the narcissist has physically injured you or others nearby, do not employ the strategies described in this video. Contact the Center for Domestic Violence, authority, or anyone who can help you. Now, if you're sure the narcissist won't injure you physically, let's continue. Let's delve into the topic of 8 methods to send a self-obsessed, ruthless narcissist into a state of complete breakdown. Number 1. The vocal verbal chaos. The urge to verbally insult you, criticize your flaws, tell you how boring or attractive you have become, and tell you how fortunate you are to have them in your life are all red flag signs that you have finally found a narcissist. Undoubtedly, hearing it repeatedly will make you feel like a shell of the person you once were. Here, the illusory truth effect comes into play, making you believe that these lies may be true. But avoid letting them touch you. Don't cry, don't show emotion, and don't even urge them to stop. You're entirely within your rights to walk out or tune them out completely as they ramble on, sinking ever deeper into their own narcissistic twisters. You'll notice that this unexpected lack of emotion and compliance will trigger their wrath, leading to escalating abuse for which you should be entirely indifferent. It's all about counteracting the narc's playbook, which thrives on your emotional outburst and submission. So, resist their attempts to bait you into a tense frenzy. Just remain cool, calm, and collected, and let them know that their empty words have no power over you. The unexpected response will drive them to the brink of madness, and they will push even harder to try and get reaction from you. Number 2. The absence of front. If there's one thing all narcissists have in common, it's their constant search for praise and validation from others. They hanker for that dose of energy to affirm their artificially inflated self-esteem, which they will consume like fuel. They love it even more when they receive negative attention, as it gives them something to fixate on and exploit, whether it's the discovery of an affair or a breakdown in their claims. They will use it to fuel the trauma bond and feed off your emotional turmoil like a parasite. Therefore, a lack of attention or acknowledgement is their worst nightmare. Even worse than malice, they can't stand it when people are not fixated on them. And that's where the gray rock technique falls short. The best option is complete avoidance whenever feasible, or if you share children or a workplace, the extreme modification of contact is your only choice. The top tier of a lack of acknowledgement is non-existence. Block them, deny them, bury them beneath a wall of existential indifference. Cut them out of your life entirely. They won't know how to handle this insurmountable rejection as you act like they simply don't exist, vanishing into the wind. While it may seem like retribution, remember that you're doing this to protect yourself. If you let them back in, you know they will make you pay. Number 3. Rejecting their Hoover. Prolonged exposure to a toxic relationship breeds familiarity with the devaluation phase, coupled with the Hoover to reel you back into the cycle of emotional abuse, only to repeat the dysfunctional pattern again. It's possible that they have recycled you multiple times already, leaving you exhausted. But to deliver the ultimate blow to the narcissist, you must reject their Hoover. In their past, they've always evaded consequences and gotten away with their manipulations. Thus, when they ghost you or are done playing with their new supply, they return, hoping to sucker you in once more. Don't mistake their return as a genuine desire to repair the damage. It's purely a tactic to ensnare you again in their web of manipulation. Rejecting their Hoover catches them off guard and drives them nuts. Why exactly would you reject their Hoover? It's not to teach them a valuable lesson or facilitate change, but to show them that their mind games fall on deaf ears. You refuse to entertain their hollow apologies and refuse to re-enter their toxic world once more. Number 4. The triangulation rejection. The manipulation tactic, triangulation, is a powerful way narcissists gain control. They do this through making you feel undesirable and unattractive. When they're concluding things or have found a new supply, it's common for them to tell you that things aren't working out. Maybe you gave in to their last Hoover and found out they have moved on to someone new. Then they spin a yarn about wanting to break up with the new supply since they only chose them because you were not available. Perhaps they even blame the new supply for not letting them go. This begins the triangulation phase, and you find yourself doing a humiliating pick-me dance, straining to appear desirable in front of them. But understand this, even if you change your looks, dress well, go on a diet, or exercise furiously, it wouldn't matter as they aren't impressed by these external features. In my previous videos, I explained how narcissists seek various supplies and looks, money, or status don't matter. Therefore, you can render them powerless by rejecting the triangulation strategy. When you discover their affair with someone else, remove yourself entirely from their destructive games to let them do whatever they choose to do. Leave them alone to pine and drive themselves nuts. Number 5. The emotionless rebuff. Victims of narcissistic abuse often fall for the illusion that the narcissist cares about their emotions and remorseful for the damage inflicted on them. That's why they become emotional and vulnerable in front of them. However, beware of the narc's trap. The narc creates a situation that makes you lay all your feelings, fears, insecurities, and any vulnerabilities out for them to see. And here is the kicker. They are doing this to extract vital information to harm and manipulate you further. This is cognitive empathy at work. By laying out your inner thoughts, you give them the tools required to hurt you, which they do by abusing you in a very specific way. The same action might not work on a new supply or an ex, but for you, it works like a charm since you provided them with all the ammunition needed to hit your weak points. So it becomes imperative to go back to number 1 and reject the Hoover. After you have that big emotional explosion and the narc storms out the door, they gather all the data you gave them when you were emotional and vulnerable. They then use this information to control you, hoover you back in the cycle of abuse, and inflict more damage on you. Therefore, the only way out is to stop being emotional with them, stop being vulnerable, and keep your feelings to yourself. Break the cycle and drive them nuts. Number 6. The sanity shield. The fourth thing that will mess narcissists up is holding on to your clarity and sanity. If you do that, you'll be sending them over the edge. This means refusing to buy into their gaslighting strategies and standing your ground when they try to trick you into thinking you've done or said things that you know you haven't. Want to know why? Narcs live in a constant state of worry that you'll recall what your life was like before they showed up, and you'll realize how miserable your existence has become since they were around. They'll stop at nothing to brainwash you into questioning your memory and intuition. They'll love bomb you and demonstrate cognitive empathy to keep you engrossed and tethered to their madness. However, they never want you to think for yourself, and if you do, they'll go off the rails, ready to sabotage you and your sanity. So, I suggest keeping a journal and chatting with a confidant or family member who can provide additional details of a situation if the narc is gaslighting you and trying to blemish the truth. By protecting your clear thinking, you'll drive the narcissist to the precipice, and they'll do their worst to bring you down. Number 7. The revelation reversal. When it comes to letting the narcissist know that you've figured them out, the game plan differs. Initially, you may have shown them snippets of text messages, presented articles on narcissism, or received new information sources on their activities. All of this seems to be the norm in dealing with narcissists. Nevertheless, when it's time to show them that you know what they're up to, it's not about the receipts you have or the evidence they know you possess, but actively demonstrating that you've caught onto their racket. It's all about your actions. Cease providing them with endless information on their lies, their partners, or locations they have been. Saved pictures are enough. It's about ignoring them or rejecting conversations that lead nowhere. You'll know they are trying to bait you when they bring up stories of past events that didn't happen or were a direct result of their shenanigans. But you can let them know that you're wise to their craft by abstaining from engaging in yielding conversations that lead nowhere. Attempting to suck you into their narcissistic kabuki play won't work because you refuse to fall for it anymore. Instead, you look them in the eye, shrug, and walk away. Give them a taste of their own medicine. Above all, stop where you're talking and start where you're walking. It is time to show them who's in control. Number 8. The the changing tides. Narcissistic relationships are a one-way street, with the narcissist wielding all the power. We may think we're standing up for ourselves by lashing out or engaging in a heated back and forth, but in reality, we're still trapped in their cycle of control. True resistance starts with breaking that cycle and changing the status quo, beginning with the steps outlined in this guide. For a narcissist, any form of change is anathema, which is why remaining in their grip perpetuates that toxic cycle. When you decide to break free and change the status quo, you're taking the first vital steps in reclaiming your life. Their abuse and manipulations will no longer hold any sway over you. They'll be left wondering what happened. For the narcissist, the ultimate terror is losing control. When you take control back from them and chart your own course, they'll be thrown into a tailspin which they can't easily recover. By endlessly arguing, playing into their gaslighting, or engaging in self-destructive behaviors, you're only giving your power to them on a silver platter. But when you take ownership of your life and take steps to redefine it, they have no option left but to confront the undeniable reality that they're losing their grip. The ultimate way to flip the script on a narcissist is to choose your own happiness and cut yourself free from their constant manipulation. Walking away and embracing a new path is the sweetest revenge or the most jarring way to shake them out of their complacency. It's normal to feel some sense of guilt or empathy, but don't be fooled. Narcissists always have a plan, and surviving without you is in their playbook. Leaving isn't about being angry or trying to get back at them. It's simply choosing yourself and your own life over the constant misery of the cycle they impose. If you're still in doubt or want to continue on your healing path, check out my coaching programs and resources. With my help, you can take your life back and ensure that the narcissist is not the loudest voice in your life. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos like this. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.
So everyone, narcissists are people who have an excessive sense of self-importance, a constant need for admiration, and a lack of empathy towards others. They often display arrogance, grandiosity, and entitlement, and will go to great lengths to maintain their self-image and control over others. When their desires and demands are not met, narcissists can go to extreme lengths, and their behavior can become increasingly erratic and even dangerous. If you don't follow what narcissists want, they can become very angry and irrational. Narcissists have an intense fear of being rejected or abandoned, and they view any form of resistance as a threat to their self-image. They will try to manipulate, guilt-trip, or intimidate you into complying, and they may even resort to threats or violence if they feel that their power is being challenged. Narcissists have a tendency to react disproportionately to situations that they perceive as a threat to their ego. For example, if you question their authority, criticize their behavior, or refuse to do what they demand, they may become defensive, hostile, or vindictive. They may accuse you of being selfish, ungrateful, or disrespectful, and they will try to make you feel guilty or ashamed for not giving them what they want. As their frustration and anger grows, narcissists may engage in erratic or self-destructive behavior. They may lash out at you verbally or physically, destroy property, or engage in risky or impulsive actions that put themselves or others in harm's way. They may also engage in substance abuse or other forms of self-medication to cope with their negative feelings and emotions. If you don't follow what narcissists want, they may also resort to using tactics such as gaslighting, where they try to distort your perception of reality and make you doubt your own thoughts and feelings. They may also use triangulation, where they try to create conflict between you and other people to sow confusion and discord. They may use projection, where they accuse you of the very things that they are guilty of. Or they may use devaluation, where they invalidate your opinions and feelings and make you feel inferior and worthless. Ultimately, if you don't follow what narcissists want, they may go off the rails and become completely unhinged. They may engage in behavior that is dangerous or self-destructive, or they may try to manipulate and control you through whatever means necessary. In extreme cases, narcissists may even become delusional or psychotic as they retreat into their own fantasy world where they are always right and everyone else is wrong. So, It's important to remember that narcissists are not normal people and their behavior is not rational or logical. They are driven by a deep-seated need to maintain their self-image and control over others, and they will go to great lengths to achieve this. If you are dealing with a narcissist, it's important to set boundaries, stand up for yourself, and disengage from the situation if necessary. Don't let their behavior control you, and seek help if you feel overwhelmed or unsafe. Because in the end, the best way to deal with a narcissist is to recognize their patterns of behavior and protect yourself from their toxic influence by ignoring them. Well, I think this is everything I can say in today's video. I hope you find today's video informative and useful. Please don't hesitate to write your comments below if you have anything to say or ask. Please subscribe to this channel if this is your first time here. And until we meet again, have a nice day everyone.